The evening is about to begin. Hello and welcome to InCamera. You may be wondering why I look like this. It's Halloween. We thought we would do a slightly different type of episode today. One where we just watch some really awesome scenes from horror movies that have got great practical effects in them and then talk about how they were done.
Because mostly we just talked a lot of bollocks.
There you go.
We did. We did.
Have you seen Hellraiser?
I haven't. I honestly don't really watch films, so.
This is going to be fun then.
We have such sights to show you.
He's scratched himself quite profoundly on a nail.
Suffered a serious lesion.
Yeah. He's just moving a mattress upstairs as well, and it's just like, oh, you've got the worst luck, mate. You scrag your hand on a nail and then you resurrect your demon brother.
I like the nails popping off is really cool.
That is cool, isn't it?
Mm.
So this is Hellraiser 1.
Yeah, this is the first one.
Doug Bradley?
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing.
Hello.
It's a bit Flashdance.
So this is the reverse stuff.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Some reverse business.
Yeah.
That's how I came out my mum.
Wow.
Awkward.
She wasn't happy, but
That's why she only had one.
Home movie night became really, really hard watching.
Yeah. That got dark quick.
this is serious. What's going on, Numi?
This is really amazing how they did this. So this was made in 1987 by, I think, Bob Keane is the name of the lead makeup artist.
There's so much goo.
Yes, so much goo. And how they did that was they had an animatronic skeleton, but they covered it in a wax-coated exoskeleton, I suppose, which they then melted and then played the footage in reverse so that the wax became unmelted and joined back up with him again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really, what's super interesting about that scene is that it wasn't actually part of the original film. They shot it all, and then the studio realized that they were onto a winner with this, and they actually gave them some more money. And then they went away and shot that as a separate thing afterwards, which is amazing because it's one of the scenes that people remember. I mean, other than Pinhead, obviously, who, you know, is kind of iconic. That scene is the one that everybody remembers, and it wasn't part of the original. Film. I won't look.
Okay, cool beans.
I'm hiding my Skeletor face.
Wait, what did we just watch?
Hellraiser.
Okay, yeah.
I have chosen Hellraiser.
Wait, are all four Hellraiser?
We were attacked by a werewolf. I'm not listening to this. On the moors. We were attacked by a lycanthrope. A werewolf.
Oh, yes. I mean,
Someone had to.
yeah, we wouldn't really
Yeah, I
be
know.
talking about practical effects.
Jesus!
Oh God! I'm burning up!
I'm burning up! He's really literal in his description of what's happening.
So good.
It's just it lingers on it so long. It's painful and it's so slow. The whole thing turns. I mean, this is like a 3-minute scene.
Yeah.
There's no kind of.
He's amazing. Like
He's
no,
amazing.
No
I mean, that
prosthetics
is-
have happened
yeah,
yet,
yeah,
and you're
yeah.
just like, he's really going through some
Yeah.
things.
American Werewolf in London was made in 1981 and had a budget of £4.46 million, or $5.8 million. The shots of the hand stretching were achieved using syringes. The hand was balanced on a plinth out of shot, and then David just reacted to the hand changing in front of his eyes.
You still get the sense that it's still moving, even though that's kind of a mould. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just. I'm sorry, I called you a meatloaf, Jack.
Rick Baker had a team of 30 assistants helping him make this film, most of whom were his fans who travelled from all over the world, and he trained them up, and most of them hadn't worked in practical effects before.
I got your meatloaf, Jack! And the whole, the kind of, the hair growing and all of that.
Because that's like pulled in and then reversed, right?
The hairs growing through skin shot is actually achieved by playing the footage in reverse. So the hairs were pulled through the latex, out of it, but we're seeing that in reverse, and it makes it look like the hairs are growing into the skin.
And the classic body through the floor thing, which is. I know.
That little wiggle.
Yeah.
The little wiggle is a bit much.
That wiggle. Oh.
They made a skeleton mock-up of his half-wolf body. His real body was dangling underneath the floor, which meant that when everyone else went for lunch, he was still stuck in the floor for like 2 days.
I was finding the look to the camera a little bit weird.
I know.
And it kind of, the sort of perspective over the hand.
Yeah.
It's perspective.
It is kind of looking at the
The shot, the Mickey Mouse shot is really nice. That's it, that's the one, the protrusion shot.
Cool.
And I saw this thing with Rick Baker saying, like, we worked for weeks on that, getting that kind of pushing through the face thing.
Yeah.
And Landis, like, shot it in one take and he goes, great, we're done. He's like, I've been working on that for weeks, mate. Have another go at it.
Couple angles.
No, you're right, we got it. We got it. Yeah, but did you?
Mix up the lighting.
Did you maybe
make
try
sure it's as good as it could be?
Try a couple of other things, maybe?
Yeah. Well, when you nail it, you nail it.
But it seems like werewolves are the things that kind of really bring your A game in terms of, how do we go from A to B and show everything? Because the other thing about that was that it's a really well lit room. Because a lot of the time you would normally try and disguise something in darkness. Yeah, and that is like, no, you literally see everything, and so that changed the whole landscape in terms of practical effects.
I love that. I love that.
Rick.
That whole film, that just is just.
It is.
Oh, it's a win.
That's the
big
perfect horror comedy combo,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Wait, what film was that?
Back to your seats. Oh.
Oh yes.
Oh, lovely. Lovely.
Boy. I love this one. Is it a particular bit that you're digging in this?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I haven't actually seen this film.
You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't even seen it.
How did you know to pick it?
Because it's a meme.
It's a meme.
What?
With me.
Well, you're seeing a minute, which bit? Yeah.
For the meme part.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, Ryan doesn't watch films.
I don't really watch films. I just make them.
There you go. Can't do both, man. It's exhausting. Yeah, take that. Because I think the ghostly stuff was done underwater in a water tank,
Yeah.
floating around and all the
Yes.
hair and all that business.
Yeah.
But this is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's that bit.
Hey.
It's that bit.
Yeah.
I use that in the video. It's so good.
Love,
And that's.
face
I think
melty.
is that melting or is it animated?
I don't know. It looks like it's melted.
It does look like it's melting.
How they pulled this effect off was by making a cast of the actor's head and face to achieve a negative mold, and then doing layers of gelatine inside of it to achieve the melty effect. Is that they had an underlayer stone skull, which the final mold would sit on. This was so that as they melted the cast, the stone could resist the heat, and that's why you see everything melt apart from the stone skull. This is just a super simplified version of how the effect was made, but if you want to find out more, definitely check out the interview with Chris Wallace.
Yeah, that's too fluid to be.
It's definitely lots of layers, like the blood and the flesh and the skin and all of that kind of stuff and the makeup, and then it is definitely melted, but then it's
sped up.
Yeah. Just put under some mad heat, and I guess rotated as well. It was definitely moving, so it's probably on a little motorized kind of.
And the ghosts and things. That's water tank, isn't
That's
it?
water
That's
tank.
water tank with a certain type of fabric.
Yeah.
I'll show you that in another episode.
Yeah, the ghost floating around, like that kind of stuff's done in water. This stuff is done like this is multiple. That's multiple pyrotechnics blended into one.
Yeah.
Thane. So I can't remember his first name. Mr. Thane was the guy who did all the pyrotechnics on this. all of the flames coming down on the floor, because all of the pyrotechnics in that don't make any physical sense, and I guess that's the point, because it's like, you know, it's God, God raining fire, and the stuff that goes along the floor, they basically built the set and turned it upside down, and then blasted fire along essentially a ceiling that was the set, and then obviously turned the shot upside down, and it looks like fire's pouring down the floor.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Good meme though. Thanks, man.
Yeah. No worries.
That shows my age.
Yeah, ready. Bring it. The suspense.
Yeah.
The suspense.
Well,
yeah.
of course.
I mean, it had
But
to
of
be.
course.
Yeah. So this is
Spaceballs.
Alien.
Yeah, I haven't seen this either. So basically, I wanted to watch it, but I've watched Predator, so I need to watch this one as well.
Yeah, they're very different films.
Yeah, I know.
This is so right.
Okay, but if you haven't seen this, I want to see what your face does in a minute. So what
Okay,
happens
so
in the
they've basically just been woken up from hypersleep. They've been onto an alien planet, come back. That was tiring. He's just come out of the recovery room. He had a thing stuck on his face, and
Now they're having dinner together. They thought he was fine. It fell off his face.
kind of reacting and doing all of this, and they're trying to hold him down, and he doesn't know quite what's going on. When they do the next part, they cut here, ready to get the kind of prosthetic coming in. The crew, the actors didn't know what it was, and then they brought him back. John Hurt was on the table, ready to go. And they go, right, let's get to that scene, right? You know, screaming, oh, and then this is all a complete surprise to the cast. They hadn't rehearsed it, they hadn't done any of that stuff, they didn't know what was going on.
Really? I've never heard that.
Yeah.
So none of them knew what was coming up?
No, and they got pretty liberal with some of the blood spurting to the point where a couple of the actors just completely slipped over because there was just blood spraying everywhere. I mean, that was, they sort of cut back, but they get to this point and you see, the alien burst, and then that's obviously like a little puppet, little animatronic. That's the hilarious part. And that's the one shot in this whole film that's a bit like, which is like, a whole slit in the table, and they're basically dragging that puppet along a chain or whatever. But
that makes what they did in Spaceballs seem all the more impressive.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That little. Kicking.
Hello, my baby.
Hello,
I mean, that thing was doing the.
That's impressive.
Doing
the Charleston. Yeah. That was awesome.
We hope you enjoyed that. If you want to see us do any more reactions where we, chat about how practical effects have been done, let us know what you might like. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like all the videos, hit the notification bell, and we see you next time. Bye!
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Can I have a piece of toast?